Hello, Virgo. How you guys doing? I should ask how you're holding up, because this Virgo full moon is probably going to be extremely emotional for you. It's challenging energy because you have so much that's built up against you in opposition. Your seventh house is just jam-packed and filled with a lot of really fantastical, infinitely possible, isn't anything possible, but sometimes all that energy doesn't deliver what it promises in the real world, right? Like, can I hold it in my hands? And there tends to be this low vibrational, tendency toward, but if I can't hold it in my hands, what the hell does it matter? And ultimately, faith gets really strained because of the frustration, right? It's illuminating and blowing up your seventh house, especially when it comes to partnerships. Then, okay, but is it happening? Maybe we keep talking about it. There's promises, but ultimately, where is it getting done? Like, and then we have your sixth house, which is you're the natural ruler of the sixth house, but your sixth house is in Aquarius. So it's ultimately this sense of pressure. It feels like there's pressure to innovate and cultivate this, all this stuff, this stuff that works for everybody else, right? The stuff that works for the people outside of you, the friends, all your friends, your friend group, like your friend group, your community, like cultivating all this stuff, like leveling up, wanting to innovate, wanting to try something new, or being pushed to try something new. And it almost feels like there's a lot that's just like collapsing down on you. So ultimately there's this need to like let it all collapse. And it's like not in your nature to do that. It's in your nature to try to like rally and resist against it all collapsing because you don't want the fucking mess, right? But ultimately, is it your mess? Virgo, this is your weekly tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries Tarot. It is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs, and I provide a new reading every single week to give you insights into the energies. I use astrology, tarot cards, and oracle cards to divine insights weekly so that you will be able to hold them in your hands and make use of them. So please remember to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell. Select all notifications so that you know when I upload your favorite content. Plus, there's always extended readings that gives you even more details and gives you even more answers. And I hope you'll join me either through the Vimeo Extended or through the Unbound membership, which allows you access to a lot of exclusive content and perks, as well as unlimited access to all the extended readings. So I hope to see you there. So let's start with, we'll continue with the astrology right now, and then we'll get into the cards. Virgo, there's just this sense right now of everything like doubling down on you. What haven't I done? And it's almost because it's like, if you look at the chart, you're like this lone warrior soldier trying to get everything done against all this hecticness and craziness, these concepts, these weirdos, these people thinking that they can change everything, or everything's changing and wanting to change, and all these idealisms, but it just, none of it seems to be making a lot of sense to you. The problem is it's impacting your partnership. This could be coming within your partnership, things that you hoped, things that you aspired to, becoming really, really glib in terms of, but is it getting done? Like, what's getting done? Have we taken any action, or have we just settled into a comfort zone of sorts and created our own little bubble? But how does that translate? And how is it actually activating our potential? Are we activating our potential as partners or in our partnership, or have we stagnated into this state of pretend, right? And there could be pressure that's coming in from that energy of everybody else around you. It seems like all your friends are doing different things, going different places, moving different places, or wanting to try new things, or trying to get you to try new things. And ultimately, that just is not where your comfort zone is at right now. Ultimately, there is a need for you to let it all crash. There's a need for you to feel it all. You know, full moons are really explosions of emotion. They're bursts of energy, and they're powerful times for us to release all those pent up pressures inside of us that we've held so deep inside, or that we've felt for so long. And you don't even have to recognize them. You just have to acknowledge them long enough to let them explode out of you. And I do think that this is going to be, and you should allow it to be, a very emotional time so that you can finally break the fuck down. Because what you do need right now, Virgo, is a hard restart. So let's get into your reading. Drinking a little tea. Virgo. Virgo. Give with gratitude and grace. Now, this could be giving too much or just not wanting to give at all. Being in a, it's almost like, but I've given too much, right? That energy of, in the past, but I've given too much. And now I have nothing left to give. And a feeling of complete and total exhaustion could be what makes you collapse. And I think that you need that right now. But ultimately, there is that sense of maybe you haven't been filled up. Like your cup has been drained, but nothing has provided back. That's like running on empty energy that will catch up to you in this modality. And then we have learn from the past. So here you are today, empowered with the strength of yesterday and knowing how it impacted you in the past, or how much you... So in other words, how much it impacted you in the past. This giving too much of yourself, and learn from the past. It's saying, Virgo, hello, wake up. Where are you giving too much? Where is there too much give in your life? Where are you putting so much of yourself in, but you're not getting refilled, right? Where is that? This is about being honest with yourself. And even if you have to break down and cry about it, that's where you start taking your strength back, because you finally admit it to yourself. Instead of trying to constantly make something work, which you do, you will do it until you break. And ultimately, this is the time to break, because you can't make everything work, especially all this energy in your 7th house. You can't make your partnership work. It's not a you thing. It is a both of you thing. And if you are not in a situation where people are giving back, or you feel like you've lost, this could mean that you've lost a partner, or that a partnership has ended or died, and you feel it, but ultimately it's like, I don't know, maybe, like, I don't know, let's not get distracted. You can't make the partnership work all by yourself. And now, learn from the past is here saying, where have you tried in the past, right? Those things that you've done. You could keep something looking like it's alive. But when I was thinking of your energy today, I got this image in my head with Virgos. And it was basically of a garden filled with sunflowers. And instead of acknowledging, but these sunflowers had basically, like, think of the 7 of Pentacles. These sunflowers had died. But in order to not accept it, what you've done is you put a whole bunch of stilts and cables and to, like, you compensated by putting even a deeper structure around them, and said, hey, look, I made this grow. You didn't make it grow. You just kind of like kept it in the semblance of, like, by putting all this stabilizers around it, you've actually made it not grow. You've made it weaker. And it may not be dead, but it is it's like not capable of holding itself up. I think if you're familiar with one of these tribes, I believe they're somewhere on the African continent, that from a very young age they put these neck elongators on, and they get these really long necks, but ultimately by the time their necks get elongated to the point that they want them, they can never take those bands off, because ultimately what's happened is the neck never got a chance to be strong enough to hold itself up. And ultimately, that's kind of what's breaking now. Those places in your life or in the life of somebody very important to you that have been so helicoptered or helped out or concessions made for it, that the weakness is just so evident now that you are stuck in this state of consummate work because the thing or the person never learned to work for itself or never learned to provide for itself. Now, this could be a sense of you seeing your own weaknesses and how I have maybe taken too much, or not taken too much, but you may not even have been conscious of this, of how much other people were supplying for you or holding you up. And now there's a sense of, but what if they weren't there? How will I be able to live without them? Like, how do I live without you? And I'm not saying that you have to live without the person, but there's a real clear understanding of all that you actually need to do, when in reality what you focused on doing was just making it seem like it's already been done. And it hasn't already been done. Now, learn from the past is saying that this could be somebody in your past has done this to you, and you don't want to replicate that behavior with somebody in your current situation. So you don't want to be that helicopter parent, or you don't want to be that spouse that constantly makes excuses or tries to smooth over all those issues in the partnership. You want to be somebody who faces it and addresses it, because you see where it gets you and you don't want that to be your future, but you're starting to see the future and the past cross and clash, as if, holy shit, why am I my mother? Like, why am I acting like my father? I didn't want to be here, and suddenly I am. And this is where all this emotional release is really required, Virgo, because the truth is this: it's not as bad as it seems. There's all this pressure that you're building up, and most of it is in your head, and these feelings of inadequacy that have stayed in you for maybe too long. And to let them crash and let yourself, like, legitimately you think you're going to crash and burn. But when you wake up in the morning, you'll realize the house is still standing, everybody's still alive. This great travesty or disaster did not happen. It's not going to happen. You're going through this for one reason: to make you aware of where you could make improvements in your life. And if you actually start working on those things, you will garner a sense of pride and strength and prosperity. So let's get deeper into the cards. Virgo. 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 Not talking much. We have firm foundation. So this is in the past. I think that there was somebody that was very domineering in your past that was hard to conquer. They were charismatic and they came off as extremely strong, but in reality, their strength became an impediment. It became an obstacle that was constantly put in your way. Because when there's somebody that's too strong and too overbearing, they weaken everybody around them, because they never give anybody else the time or the ability to shine or grow on their own. Everything becomes about them succeeding, and they never let anybody take the risks that they need, which includes failure. right? Failure is how we get strong. And this is how did somebody prevent failure in everybody around them so that they would always look strong and powerful and capable. But ultimately a sense of how does that inevitably weaken everybody around them and make them incapable, because failure is necessary to life and expansion and growth. So this is also maybe you feel like you're not living up to somebody in your past or to this firm foundation that you had, especially if it's somebody who you love a great deal. Say you're talking about somebody that you admire a lot. This is where you'll start to realize, why do I admire them? What was it about them that really helped me feel like I could be anything that I wanted to be? And where's the dissonance happening now, right? Okay, let's get deeper into this. I don't know why everything is happening in the past. This seems to be generational. It seems to be like you need to go back a generation to get to where you want to be, because there's something in the generation right next to you that is maybe greedy in a way. I want to say greedy in a way, or all-consuming. Now we have some future cards. No place like home, loyal heart, and chop wood, which is building together with somebody, building together and working together, a combined work effort. No place like home, loyal heart, and chopped wood. So this does have to do with your house, your home, and your partnership, and maybe your partner's work, and just trying to be supportive of your partner. But that can be the rub, isn't it? Am I sitting home, so like being supportive of what somebody else does, but have I left myself out? Have I weakened myself? Which brings me back to that channeled message of, where have I been so supportive that I've actually created a constitutional fundamental weakness, right? This could also, just because this could also mean like working on a relationship, let's get deeper into what the fuck is going on with this energy. Are you buying a new home? You could be like, this could be good news, right? Good news is that there's a sense of, through your combined efforts and hard work, you were able to actually move forward, celebrate. This is friends. This is getting together with friends. All of a sudden, this has taken a turn. How and why? Because it doesn't seem, I don't know, it doesn't seem real. Why is this here? Life-changing epiphany or experience. It's a time of big and blessed change for you, and God is supporting you each step of the way. Increased support. Your positive focus and willingness to receive have opened the doorway to an abundance of help and opportunities. That's really cool. But how did we go from here to that? Here. Learning from the past and making the changes now. There's the difference. And basically, Saturn is currently in your 6th house, and it's square the nodes. And that's all about checking in karmically. What have we done? Have we worked hard enough? How hard have we worked to change our karma, to challenge ourselves and become the best we can be? So the secret then to this happy future, which is absolutely calling for you, is get uncomfortable. Allow yourself to legitimately be washed over. Let this stuff collapse on you so you don't feel responsible for it anymore, because it's trying to maintain that responsibility that is actually handicapping you. And it's got to all come down so that you can actually, like, let the water, let the tides, let the emotion wash the mess away. It's capable of doing that. This is legitimately about trusting in the strength of something outside of yourself, knowing that it is absolutely capable, absolutely strong enough. I don't know who this is, if this is about a person. That's what I really want to know. Is this about a person? Like, what's going on? Let's pull this full moon. Is this about a person? It's not saying. It's not saying. I think that could just mean that it depends on how it's playing out in your life. Your commitment is being tested. And it is. This is a big old test this week. I mean, up until Aries season, which is not long. It's through Sunday. It's a big old test, especially for you, though. Especially for you because of that moon, which is really a strong, beautiful energy that helps us, like, balance all this esoteric energy into the practical. It's that tether to reality as well as the focal point into reality. So ultimately, how do we pass this test? Your commitment is being tested. Allow it to be imperfect. That's how you pass the test. Allow the person, allow the situation to anger you, frustrate you, and also, like, put them to the test too. Put them to the work, especially since this pressure is in the partnership. It could even be that now everything that somebody else had taken care of is flipped and it's on you. And you have to be the one, maybe the main provider, or you're taking on responsibilities that you are not comfortable with. And ultimately, this is the absolute test, not of your relationship, but of your character and who you think you've always been. And now proving it to yourself. Let's go to tarot. I'll see you guys over there.